Hey everyone, so we're back in the shed after the weekend out, and what a great weekend it was. I've got to say, got tons of stuff done. I've showed you the kit that's hanging up on the line now. It's all, very important to look after the gear that we're using. So it's all up there, getting an airing, the sleeping bag's out, the eating utensils are getting full good wash up now. And what I thought we'd do is just do a bit of a debrief. I certainly had a few things that I wanted to take away from this weekend that I'll share with you now. And I think the main one is over the testing of this gillet here, and I'll just put the camera down so we've got a better view of that, so we can see what we're doing. And what I found with this is really sort of a longer extended period that I was wearing this gillet. I call it the possibles jacket. Over the period of a weekend, and what that really enabled me to do was to wear this jacket in the hammock as well, sleeping through the night with this thing on, and get a feel for just how viable an option that really was. So instead of wearing a possibles pouch and having to take that off because it was uncomfortable in the hammock, this enabled me to actually sleep it and wear it more often than not. One thing that I always find is that when I go away, I always take more than I actually need, and it's something I'm guilty of in not having a confidence in my own abilities, so on and so forth. So let's go through each of the things that I've already been through before in the last video, and just look at what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to remove. And we'll start with this main pocket here first, I think, because this was the one that I used more of. First thing out is the hand sanitizing gel. I use this a lot, and it's one of those things that comes in so handy for lighting fires because of the alcohol content. And cleanliness and hygiene, while I'm out there, is an absolute key. The thing about this is it's quite a big bottle, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this one over. I don't want to get rid of the hand sanitizing gel completely by any stretch of the imagination, but what I think I am going to do is I'm going to swap this big bottle or larger bottle over for the smaller Stereodex sort of size pen. That gives me the same capabilities because of the alcohol content, ethyl alcohol 62%, so same fire lighting capabilities with that, but it's in a much smaller sort of pocket size piece. So that's the larger bottle out and the smaller one in. The other thing was the weight bearing carabiner. That came in absolutely essential, and usually does for hanging stuff off the ridgeline, off tripods, so on and so forth. So going to keep that. Let's take the Stereodex pen out. The Petzl light was just used all the time. Main light, it's got the whistle on there as well, so I'll come back to that one in a moment. I actually found that the Vaseline was rarely used very much at all. I'm going to put that in the wash kit. I'm going to take that out of my possibles kit and I'm going to put that in the wash kit. So then the other thing that I got in here was the Victorinox Huntsman. That came invaluable every day, day in, day out, multiple times, striking the fire steel as you'd have seen with the saw. That's staying in without a shadow of a doubt. This big old lighter that I got from Black's, the turbo lighter, didn't use it once. Used jute twine, used the fire steel, used the Victorinox. I prefer using the main fire lighting capabilities. I don't mind the fact that the lighter's easy. I'll keep a lighter in the survival kit if anything, but I'm going to take this out of the possibles kit. So that's the lighter gone. Nothing else in that pocket, so I'm just going to put those little key components back in, and the reason they're staying in that because it's got the zippered pouch on there. So now over to this side. I had a little trial with putting the net hammock in here, as you'd have seen from the other video. We were over this weekend trialing out that net hammock a lot, and I came up against a few obstacles, so I've decided to remove that from the possibles jacket. Although I think there's potential there, it needs a lot more investigation. So before I go putting that back into the possibles jacket, I'm going to take it out. It's going to go in the bag, in the Bergen, or maybe in the tools pouch, but it's actually going to stay out of the possibles pouch from now. What I have found is that actually, doing all the work I was doing over the weekend, I needed more cord than I actually had in my possibles pouch, in my possible jacket. So I mean, I've got a ton of cord there anyway. I've actually got 3 hanks in there now, and I only had 2 before, and there's also the smaller cord as well. You can never have enough cord, and so that's what I'm putting in the larger pocket. That was invaluable from making the tripods, trying to hang the seat, a whole manner of different things I was using that for over the weekend. So that's definitely staying in there, but it's going in the bigger pocket now. Over to this one. What I found was this buff I was wearing as a sort of bandana. I'm going to take that out of the possibles thing because I was using it more often, and what I did find was I was actually missing, and I wished I'd actually had with me my chamois. So I'm going to swap over the bandana out of the possibles jacket, and I'm going to wear the chamois more often. This thing is so big. We were actually out walking around, having a little hike about, and we stopped for just a little sit down, and because this thing is so big, I actually wished that I'd had this on me so that I could put it up and just give me and my brother a little bit of shelter from the sun. It was that warm that day that if I'd have had this with me, I know it's only 2 feet by 2 feet, but we could have erected such a shelter that we could have had a little bit of shade with this thing. So I'm going to start wearing this. I can wear it as a bandana. I can get a tiny little shelter from the sun. So that's replacing this one from the possibles jacket. So the next thing to look at was the ouch pouch. Now that's going to stay in there, whatever. This I think is small enough, it's light enough, it's compact enough, that can stay in there. Along with the duct tape, I think that's small enough, light enough, that can stay in there. But the emergency repair kit, I actually found no need for that whatsoever. My mentality is to buy good gear anyway. If it does rip, then it's I'll keep that in the tool pouch or the toolkit, I think. The same goes for the Oral-B stuff. This was a very thin floss. It hasn't got a lot of tensile strength to it, and being as I was sort of brushing my teeth 3 times a day, I was flossing. It only got used 3 times a day, so that's going to go in the wash kit. And as I say, we'll put the repair kit probably in the wash kit as well. So those 2 items can go back in, and that's fair enough. So then we'll go on to the smaller pocket. I didn't have any need for this striker whatsoever, and I don't think I'm going to. I've got an emergency survival kit with me which has got the ability to strike with, so that's coming out. This whistle, I think that was redundant as well. I've got one in the survival kit, I've got one on the Petzl light. That's a little bit too far, so that one's coming out now. I don't need that every day. That's a survival item, survival kit. All right, on the Petzl I've got one anyway, and that's quite loud, so that's coming out. So that's those 2 pieces. That leaves me free with this carabiner. That's compacted down that pocket nicely now. Up in this one here, what did we have? The tinder tin. Absolutely invaluable. Used it a couple of times a day for the hobo stove and for the fire. That's definitely staying in. And then in this one here was a few bits that I was hoping to use for carving. Didn't actually get around to doing much carving while we were out this weekend, but the pen and the paper takes up very, very little room, so that's actually going to stay in there because I know I do a few bits every once in a while. So there we go, that's that one, that's staying in. The fire steel, absolutely invaluable, use that every time with great success as usual. No problems there, didn't expect to have any, so that's going to stay in the kit as well. And basically guys, that is pretty much it. What I found is that sometimes when I was doing some chores, wood processing, that sort of thing, I found that having these pockets sticking out too far was a little bit of a hindrance, and I had to unzip it. When I unzipped it, I had the pockets flapping around, so it wasn't absolutely ideal. But again, I feel what I've left in there are the things that I'm going to use on a very regular basis throughout the day, so that's why I'm going to keep them in the possibles gillet. And what I've taken out, I'm not necessarily leaving behind, but they will be put in other places, so another toolkit or something along those lines. So we'll see how that one goes on the next trip out. And this little pocket, I've got some capacity in there. I might put another knife in there or something small, and maybe look at something else to fill up here. Maybe the notebook can go in here. Maybe I use that quite a bit for taking notes as well, and ideas, that sort of thing. So there you go guys. Basically that's it. I'm gonna the seat, the blow up seat was pretty useful. Quite how much usage I'm going to get out of it, apart from as a possible sleeping arrangement if the hammock was to fail. Is it going to fail? Don't know. Is it worth carrying that weight and size? Don't know. It was good as a seat, I've got to give that. It was absolutely superb. But are there other options I could entertain for a comfortable seat in the evenings? Yeah, there probably are, but I've got to say that was so comfortable. The other thing, of course, is to use it as sort of insulation, that sort of thing. So got to weigh that one up. I'm going to have a little think about whether I'm going to take that one out again. The other thing was the little folding seat that I used. I'll probably leave that behind. I think for this, I know it's flat, but for the weight, I was only using it a couple of times, and I've got to admit, because I had this folding sit mat with me as well, which just sort of compacts down, concertinas down like this, you know, that acted as insulation for my feet in the hammock. It was, you know, handy to have as a kneel pad while I was cooking my food. You know, I think this item, and it adds a little bit of extra padding to the back of the Bergen as well when it's packed in there. So I'm going to keep this one in there. I'm going to remove the little flat seat. In the brew kits, no, that was about it, I think. So, you know, useful exercise, useful to get a feel again for what I wanted to take with me next time, what I will be taking with me next time. So there you go, guys, bit of a debrief for you. And I'll see you in the next video.